Okay, we're back again at the Black Interior Designers Network. And we're with Monet and Tavia, and they have designed, very nice room behind us. Do you guys have any inspiration that kind of inspired the visuals for this room?
Absolutely, a lot of inspiration.
Let's see. Firstly, I wouldn't say this desk. When we saw this was amazing, and we already had like this idea brewing of this like future female, and then Monet like blurted out, "Wait! I know the theme. It's the future is female." And we're like, "Wait, that's
and
it."
then we literally passed out in somebody's showroom.
Yes.
Like, yes, that's
And
it.
then it was like this high five, and then we're like, "Wait, okay, back together now." All right, so that's gonna be the theme.
So that's the theme of the room. It's
Yes.
called
Future is female.
Feature of female.
The future is female.
The future is female. Okay.
So then we started going for like this really modern aesthetic, clean lines, like shiny metals, and we were searching for art, but we saw art, but then we were turned down for it, so we had to like regroup, and then we walked into this green room of Mason Gallery, and both looked at this piece and literally got chills. We were like, this is it.
Yes.
It's fun, it's colorful, it's like, it's modern and a little raunchy at the same time.
It's narrating the entire room.
Exactly.
So the original artwork that we saw, it depicted the female anatomy, and we could not get that piece. So we just started to emphasize on a lot of geometric lines, voluptuous shapes. So we have the bronze statues of the women doing poses and just showing off their curves, and then of course started with this piece, which of course is female.
Yeah. Okay. I definitely I see that. I see what you guys did there. So are there any designers that you guys, used that, you guys really liked using for this particular piece?
Particular style pieces? The inspiration obviously came from this desk, all of the curves and lines, and this is by a line Bino, I think it is. And
which is in showroom 58.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so there's a wonderful line of furniture that has these similar aesthetic. And
I want to point out the wallpaper. So the wallpaper actually came from another top 20 designer, Milton Interiors, and
those are shoes.
it's actually stiletto boots.
Okay.
So definitely coincide with the theme. We're representing Jim Thompson, Even Starin. These blue chairs, which I think are iconic in this space, come from Century Furniture.
Okay.
And there are a few made good pieces like this metal screen, this wonderful little stool, and then some artist pieces like this vase. Not quite sure if it's a vase, tray. It's beautiful.
It's porcelain. It's beautiful, and it reminds us of female.
Yes.
Okay.
You'll just pan into it.
Like I said, it works.
Thank you.
And do you guys have your own individual favorite pieces?
I know what Tavia. Let's do this. Tavia's favorite piece. If you could tell me what my favorite piece is, Tavia's favorite piece is this desk. And then what's my favorite piece?
Why do you say that?
I would say your favorite piece is the desk. I have another favorite piece.
What is your favorite piece?
The art.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
So the artwork comes from Mason Gallery, which is about 10 minutes from here.
Okay.
A lot of their pieces are actually being represented in the showrooms here. My favorite piece, I think I would say the desk.
The desk.
I would say the desk.
Still the artwork?
Still the artwork.
Okay. And could you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you were able to input your personalities into this room?
I think it was kind of high time for Monet and I to like inject our eclectic, modern aesthetic. I mean, that's what vignette spaces are for. You're really getting to showcase your sense of design. You're designing for homes, you're designing for clients, and you're really taking inspiration from the client, which we love, and we love showing someone what they look like in a space. But this is what we look like in a space. We're mixing time periods, mixing objects, and wanting to look to the future of design, and a color palette that's not very common. These pastel muted tones, which are very like hip and trends nowadays, like our clothing, but in interiors it gets a little lost.
I think doing this vignette was a perfect opportunity for us to take our creativity a level up, because like she said, our focus is always and primarily the client.
Yes.
So in this space, we decided what the theme was going to be and what the pieces were going to reflect, and in a lot of cases is representing both of our styles, which were both eclectic. But Tavia is a lot more neutral in her eclecticism, where I'm like really bold, and I think it's doing exactly both. So we have this very pastel neutral color palette, but there's a lot of pops. Like all of the furniture in here is iconic. So my personal style is just, it's somewhat minimal, but it's representing iconic pieces that could stand alone and don't have to be weighed down with a lot of accessories.
Okay. And what are some strategies you typically think about when you're working in smaller spaces?
Strategies for smaller spaces. Actually, making sure that you have a large piece in a small space.
Okay.
Not overpowering the space, but taking up some of the visual, the weight, and then not cluttering the space with too many objects.
Right.
Thinking about the lines, how they intersect, and creating vignettes, creating snippets that your eye gets to focus on, and then having a resting space.
So, and my take on small spaces is that when you have a large space, which typically that's what we're dealing with, our focus is to try to break it up. And so we're creating different focal points. Whereas in this room, in our opinion, there's one focal point, and that was the item that we started with. So with the small space, for instance, we actually started with one rug, and then we knew we were going to layer it with the cowhide. And then Tavia was like, you know what, we actually need to expand a little bit because we have more space, but then again, you want to create your lines. And that's typically what we do with the rugs, right? Is we create where your lines are. And so just adding another layer underneath the existing rug to extend our space a little bit is giving the illusion of a larger space, but we're still in the corner of the showroom.
Right. You guys did a wonderful job putting that all together.
Thank you.
Do you have any last words for our viewers and what they could potentially see working with you guys?
Break the rules. It's okay.
Break the rules.
Break the rules. As long as it feels good, break the rules.
Absolutely break the rules. Absolutely break the rules. Inspiration is important, but it's also important to put a staple on your own design. And so I like to think that with this room, we were thinking about future and thinking about what this design could be in the future. So essentially creating trend.
And how can they keep up with you?
We are on IG, of which I handle because Tavia doesn't like Instagram.
Or any social media.
And that is Forbes Masters. We're also on Facebook, and we are on House, which we are now, sad to say, as Tiffany just bashed, but they're going to see it all. We are on IG, we're on House, we're on Facebook. We're primarily on IG. So.
Okay, and I think that's all we have for this segment.
Thank you.
So thank you guys for the interview.
Thank you.
You're welcome. A picture? Okay.